We've got flags and banners, and if you mind your manners, we might even get to standards and what they represent. So just take my voice's hand and we'll both try to understand how this vexillologic podcast could be flagged for content. Flagged for content.
What's up, Vexheads, and welcome to episode 78 of Flagged for Content. It's the only podcast that matters when your flag is in tatters. We are trying something. We're going to workshop that. Actually, if you, the listeners, want to workshop that with me, if you can think of any fun, like, show introductions, go ahead and email them to me at podcast@flagsforgood.com. And if I like it, if it's good or really cringy, as you've just heard, I will use it on the show and give you a shout out if you want me to. Sometimes you might want it to remain anonymous, but anyway, it could be fun. So yeah, email me those. Anyway, so you may also be telling yourself, wait, what? There's an episode of Flag for Content that I somehow miss. I haven't listened to. I've been such a fool. Well, dear listener, it is not you. It is I who has been the fool. I've been on some kind of silly hiatus, but I am back. I am raring to go. After this episode, I've already got 2 more in the bank and got several more exciting guests booked for after that. So yeah, just be, as they say, watch this space. It's going to be a few extracurricular things here and there as well that I've thought up. Want to have a big year with the show. Okay, yeah, as always, Flag for Content is brought to you by Flags for Good. If you head over to flagsforgood.com/flagged-for-content, for like the number, the digit, you can check out they've gotten a ton of new stuff since you last heard me. Yeah, like so much, and some old favorites. They've got the Puerto Rico light blue flag, like Bad Bunny had at the halftime show, for example. Yeah, and if you use code FLAGGED4CONTENT at the checkout, you will get a cool 10% off your order, and you can help the show as well. Which leads me to my next point, is I could really use the help right now, because this year's ICV, the International Flag Conference, is in Paris, which is a city that I love, a city that I have been to many times. I speak French. I'm a little rusty, but it's a bit expensive right now between like getting there, lodging, the conference fees themselves. And I've actually thought about doing some kind of like fundraiser to be able to get there, and just promise to do some kind of like journalism or just make certain like commitments to give people access to that. So I don't know. I haven't decided. I haven't like created anything, but let me know on like various social media, or just get in touch with me if that's something you would be interested in contributing to, or if you have any like advice, ideas for that. And I may try and set something up. I don't know. Anyway, sorry for all the admin. That is what I get for taking like a months long hiatus for the most part. In this episode, I've got Brady Ells, an English vexillologist and vexillographer, who's designed several of the UK county flags and works pretty closely with past guest Jason Saber as well on all things flags. So as I mentioned, I've already said a lot, and I go ahead and give Brady's bona fides here like early on in the episode, so I won't repeat them here. But yeah, I will stop talking, stop delaying, and let you get into the long awaited episode 78. Folks, we have yet another fantastic guest on the show this week. You know him for getting the Sussex flag recognized by the Flag Institute. You know him as the designer of the Cambridgeshire and Northamptonshire flags and co-designer of Hampshire. And some folks, well, they just know him as Mr. Sussex. It's Brady Ells.
Hi, Andrew. Good to be here.
Hey, Brady. How's it going in your neck of the woods?
Pretty good. Just a bit dark, really, this time of year. A bit gloomy come 4 o'clock, but yeah.
Right.
What's the summer?
It does. I always forget, like, like latitude wise that like Paris is on the same latitude as like the middle part of Canada. So the UK is like even further up there. Like I always forget how dark it gets so soon there.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Brady, we've got a lot to get into today. Let's go ahead and hop into it. For the listeners, for the viewers, for the Vex heads, here's what's on the flagpole today. As always, we have some over and underrated flags from our guest. In the main part of this one, we're going to focus on the flag of Sussex, as you could probably guess from the intro, since we've got, just the man here for it. And near the end, we're going to chat about a few more of the many flags that he has designed. If you're into English county flags, this is the only show you need today. But anyways, aside from all that, Brady, what I like to ask my guests before we get into that is, what is your favorite flag?
Right, my favourite flag I've actually got with me here.
Oh, perfect.
This one here, which I'll describe to the listeners.
I know this one.
White cross on a yellow field, and the white cross is fimbriated in red.
Yep.
And this is the flag of Dorset.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I like it so much is because basically it's such a cheery flag.
Just like the colors and everything.
Yeah, it's so vibrant, and yeah, it's sort of happy memories of going on holiday down to Dorset as well. So, yeah.
Right. So for those of us who are not English, Dorset is kind of like in the southwest of the UK.
Yeah, sort of southwest part.
Near Cornwall and Devon.
Yeah, just a bit up from Devon, the next county east.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about this, and I think I may have briefly discussed it with Jason Saber, who was on not too long ago. But does the Dorset one like draw inspiration from Cornwall or from Devon, which I think also drew inspiration from Cornwall?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a domino effect, literally down the the coast there. So yeah, but it's very bright and cheery, and that's why I like it.
Yeah. I do like the colors. I was going to say the flag for the show also has a dark blue, which brings the mood down a little bit, but big fan of like red and yellow just in general. All right. So you said, I think in our correspondence that is I'll try and bring it up, your favorite flag, but not necessarily the one you think is best designed. Was that, am I getting that kind of right?
I think the best designed flag, which I've also got, is this one here.
Oh, not familiar with that one.
Maybe it's a bit cliche, but I'd give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. And the reasons for that is because you could take any part of this flag and you would still know which flag it is. Flags often get torn. I know it's not a very good look, but it happens.
Yeah.
You still know it's a Union Jack or Union flag. And also, it can be in any other colours, and you still know what flag it is. So, for example, take the flag of France. If you change the colours, it becomes the Irish flag or the Belgian flag, etc. So,
Italy, yeah.
Yeah. And if it was to get an extra 0.5% mark out of 10, it would be so it was symmetrical, and so you can't actually fly it upside down. But apart from that, I think it's a very solid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of people do fly it upside down because a lot of people forget which, I always look at the top left, like the upper hoist side. I don't know, I can't think of words, but yeah. And even then I usually second guess myself. I'm like, it is white on top, right? Or is it? Yeah. But do you see, like, just in the wild, do you see a lot of people flying them upside down? Like, I'm guessing unintentionally.
50-50, really.
Really?
Yeah, which just show that, just make it symmetrical, really.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting to me because, just like talking of that, the Tennessee flag, which I'm sure you're familiar with, I see it a lot. It lends itself very well to like a front license plate. Here in Tennessee, we're only required to have one on the back, so people get fun with the front one. But the amount of Tennessee flags I've seen backwards or like upside down on license plate leads me to believe that not everyone is completely similar to the white over red thing. Not everyone's completely clear on where the stars go,
Yeah.
since they're kind of at an off angle. Yeah, it's just interesting to.
I think another flag I can think of, which is often flown upside down in England, is the flag of Bedfordshire with the shells.
Oh,
And,
yes.
and I believe that's because of the Shell petrol station or gas station has the shell way up, and everyone seems to subconsciously copy that. So that's my
theory. Also, thanks for Americanizing petrol station for us. I know, because I'm, cultured, but I don't know if everyone else does. No. Yeah, the upside down shells is kind of it does mess with your brain for a second there, but I do like that they updated that one, like fimbriated it and made changed the colors a little bit so the river flows better, but which as rivers are wont to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into, we've got the overrated and underrated, whichever one you want to get to first on that front.
All right. Shall we go? Let's go overrated.
All right.
And again, I've got the flag with me.
Perfect.
I think I might need your help describing this, if I may.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll try.
So, another English county, and it's the flag of Wiltshire.
Yes. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Wiltshire, how would you start describing?
So I think this is part of the problem of this design. It's a bit complicated to explain. So it's got sort of V-shaped stripes.
Yeah.
And then within these V-shaped stripes, you've got a large disc, and that disc is edged with green and white bars or segments. And within that is another green circle, and on the top of that is a brown, or sometimes it's more of an orangey shaded bird, which looks a little bit like a turkey, but it's actually called a great bustard.
A great what?
Bustard. You have to be careful how you pronounce that one.
B-U-S-T-A-R-D.
Yes. And the reason that's significant to the county is because they became extinct in 1832.
Oh.
But they were reintroduced into the county at Salisbury Plain in 2004. But it has been an emblem of the county for quite a long time now.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd say it's underrated because I just don't think the bustard itself stands out very well against the green.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
And, when the flag's flying, these sort of V-shaped stripes or bars become pointless, really, indistinct. And,
yeah, I could see that.
And then also another criticism is the bars around the outside of the inner circle represent the 6 counties which border Wiltshire.
Sure.
However, traditionally, there's only 5 counties which border Wiltshire. There's that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
And, I just think it just looks a bit too modern for me and could become outdated over time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have any sort of heraldic feel to it, because, when I've been up to Parliament Square to see all the county flags, all of them you could imagine sort of at a medieval banquet or something, and this just appears a bit alien to that sort of setting.
I could absolutely see it standing out a little bit and not necessarily in a good way. I don't know. Okay, so as a vexillographer, how would you go about fixing this if you had to work with these bones?
Funny you say that. I've actually came up with a design in about 2020.
For listeners and viewers, we did not plan this. He hasn't even told me his over and underrated. Yeah.
So basically, we've got 7 straight bars going across the background. Got a white disc in the middle, which is fimbriated in just green.
Right.
And in the centre of that, we've got a what's called in heraldry a tenny which is a stain, Great Bustard, which is sort of an orangey brown colour to the name.
Yeah.
And it still keeps all the features which the original flag represents.
Right.
We've got the sort of blue and white, not blue and white, green and white, sorry, which represents the countryside. We've got the round circle in the middle, which represents the stone circles you find in Wiltshire, like Stonehenge is probably the most famous one, but there's also Avebury and others as well. And also the circle is sitting on top of 5 bars, which is the represents the 5 traditional counties. Which surround Wiltshire. And the bustard I've sort of drew using the county badge, which was granted in 1967, so it's a much more heraldic animal. So.
Yeah. Even to my non-heraldic eye, I can tell that much for sure. And I think, something that you said there that's so important is your redesign keeps all these same symbolism. Like it checks all the same boxes that this one does, just in a more visually pleasing way. Because you don't want to take away, you don't want to say like, well, I can't quite fit that 5 county or that 5 whatever it was thing in here. Or I can't quite, you don't want to cut corners in that sense. So if you can keep all the same symbolism and do it in a more attractive way, all the better. Have you just curious, like, have you presented that to anyone of note?
I put it on the on Facebook on the Flags of the World group, but I'm not going to start treading on people's toes and trying to out the original flag. I think it's still a pretty decent design.
It's very English of you to not.
Yeah. And I met the designer about 15 years ago. He's a very nice bloke, so it's no criticism of him as a person. I just think visually it could just do with a bit of tweaking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm seeing now, like I've got it pulled up. I see the coat of arms and everything else that you're kind of drawing on there too. All right, cool. So that was the overrated.
Overrated, yes.
All right, let's switch gears.
Underrated one is, and I've again come prepared, is the flag.
Oh, I own this one.
So basically, it's just yellow and blue checks.
It's the flag of where, for the listeners?
It's the flag of Surrey, which is the county just north of where I live in Sussex.
Right.
I think a lot of people, when they first see it, and it's understandable, think, oh, that's a bit boring.
Yeah, that would be.
But the history behind it is absolutely magnificent. So basically, it goes back to the early times of heraldry. So knights were granted arms, and obviously the first knights which were granted arms were going to have much more basic patterns. And as time's gone on and people have already adopted certain patterns, they become more and more ornate or complicated. Mm-hmm. So it was the arms of the De Warren family, who were Earls of Surrey from 1066 when William the Conqueror came over. There's a few seals, there's one seal which belongs to John De Warren, who was the 6th Earl of Surrey from 1301, and he's got a beautiful seal which is him wearing his coat of arms, and he's got a checkered comparison, which is basically like the horse rugs that
yeah.
So it's very beautiful, and it just seems so heroic. So I just think it's a brilliant design. It's found in lots of local heraldry in the county, sort of lots of different towns and villages, coats of arms, different councils. It's possibly one of the earliest forms of a county flag, as in representing the people rather than a higher organisation.
Right, okay, like the council or whatever,
Yeah, or just, it became much more than just the emblem of the Earls themselves. It became, symbols of Surrey and its people.
Yeah.
There's a poem, Michael Drayton's Agincourt poem from 1627, which says, "The men of Surrey, checky blue and gold, which for brave Warren their first Earl wore." So, there's a suggestion that they wore it at Agincourt whilst fighting the French, but I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I definitely agree with you that this is underrated. I don't know quite how it is rated. There's not a lot of people,
No.
obviously, on my side of the pond that are talking about this flag. But I do agree that it's simple and it does its job. Like Ted Kay, the Secretary of NAVA over here, his main thing is, you know, if he had one thing that flags do, it is signal at a distance. And I think this nails that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't mistake it for anything else. And it doesn't need a charge in the middle necessarily, which somehow may like complicate things, I guess.
Yeah, I think people are just so used to sometimes flags having to have some kind of beast or emblem.
Yes.
But another thing that's interesting about this flag is I found last year was I found some old pictures or paintings rather of the I think it was the opening or some kind of regatta related to London Bridge. So to the north of the Thames is Middlesex and to the south is Surrey.
Mm-hmm.
And on London Bridge there's lots of flags flying, and on the bridge there's the flag of the City of London, which is the cross of St George with a little
red sword in
I've
the
corner.
that one too.
And also on this bridge, is the blue and yellow checks of Surrey. So it must have been there to represent the south side of the bridge,
right?
Which is
okay,
very like this from the 1820s and 30s, and that's a very, very early example of a flag being used in sort of the modern way that county flags are today.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. All right, cool. Yeah. And for the listeners, definitely look this one up. It's as described, it is a blue and yellow checkerboard, but it really works. Yeah. I think I'm out of notes on that one if we want to go ahead. I do see like I can tell you like the color scheme though, just based on what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
I know there's more behind it than that, but all right, we'll go ahead and get into our first ad break here. On the other side of this ad break, we're going to get into the meat of the episode, which is the flag of Sussex, as viewers can see on both of our screens right now. Very excited to get into this, so we'll be right back. All right, Vex heads, welcome back. And as promised, Brady and I are going to get into the flag of Sussex here. Brady, just before we do that, I'd love to get kind of a little bit of a background on you, like how you stumbled into, because most of us do stumble into vexillology and vexillography, just in general.
So my earliest memory of getting into flags was I had a I Spy Flags book, which I know Michelin used to produce these books of I Spy, I know, on the motorway or in the countryside, and they produced one about flags. And I remember going up to London with my parents and sister, and I remember going down like the Mall at Buckingham Palace and seeing all these wonderful flags, because I think there must have been a Commonwealth event on at the time, so it was literally the flag of every nation of the Commonwealth. I was just seeing all the different patterns and colours and symbols, and getting to look in my little book and tick them off, and it just felt quite exciting. So that's one of my earliest memories.
Yeah. And just briefly, in what year are we talking here, just roughly?
Maybe 1999, 2000 sort of.
Okay, so like I guess all that to just say like a lot has changed in the UK flag landscape since then. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so you've got the book, you're checking all those off. When is it that you get into, or just the thought pops in your head, maybe I could start designing one or two of my own?
So I remember I've actually got the book with me. Unfortunately, I've lost my I Spy book, but I had another I Spy book.
Heartbreaking.
And this is from the same sort of period, and it had it says here the flag of the English county of Cornwall.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember seeing that, thinking, well, why doesn't Sussex have a flag?
Right.
That was just a sort of, a question which I always sort of had in the back of my head. So, yeah, I've sort of, and then I remember going on holidays, I said, to Dorset and down to Devon, and at that point, I think it was 2002 when the Devon flag, which was adopted.
Right. Okay.
And I remember going to there's a small fishing village there called Beer, which is very sort of picturesque and chocolate box kind of quaint little village.
Called Beer? What is it called?
Beer, yes. It's spelled the same as in the alcoholic drink as well.
Oh, interesting.
And there was Devon flags literally everywhere, and it just was really inspiring. And then later on, there was the flag of Dorset, which wasn't adopted till 2008.
Yeah.
But there was a lots of Dorset flags flying up until that point, with them trying to sort of promote the flag and get it registered. So that was another inspiring design, and I think probably why it's my favourite flag.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, it's almost like countries I guess more like counties and cities and things like that are really pushing to get a design adopted, where you see it everywhere. Yeah. Like, and that's just one of like many ways to get it adopted, but getting it out in the public, getting everyone used to it is one of the better ways, I would say, to get that like recognition and everything. So that makes sense that it was everywhere. All right, cool. So you've been a flag nerd for a long time, as have most of my guests, most of my listeners, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so as you said, you wanted to, or were asking yourself, why isn't there a flag for Sussex? When you started your design, like, I guess, where did you start? Were you researching history? Where were you?
So, in Sussex, we've got two county councils, an East Sussex Council and a West Sussex Council, and their coats of arms have been, very well known since they were granted. Yeah. And, you didn't really see it wasn't very obvious what the traditional emblem of Sussex was, but it wasn't to me. And it wasn't until I started doing some more digging that I found that the traditional arms of Sussex is 6 gold marks on a blue background. And it became very obvious to me, probably sort of 2009, maybe 2010, which when I was about 15, 16, that's what the flag of Sussex should be. Yeah. In 2008, there was a local radio competition to adopt a flag for Sussex by BBC Southern Counties Radio, which is like the local BBC radio station here.
So there was some kind of like energy behind it, like just in the general public. Yeah,
there was definitely a want for a flag, and the flag which won, which was a red and blue background with the martlets in the centre, and then underneath was sort of blue and yellow wavy lines.
Oh, I see. I'm seeing that one now. Yeah.
That was never actually registered with the Flag Institute. I suppose they didn't have enough
for the best.
They didn't. Thought it didn't have. Thought it had enough of a backing, I suppose, or enough of a mandate with the public.
Yeah, which is
it wasn't a public vote. It was literally a couple of people at the radio station, and I can't remember who else were the judges. But it was the sort of judged by a judging committee rather than a public vote.
Sure, yeah.
So there was definitely a need for a Sussex flag, and also it became obvious to me that the flag should be the traditional arms of Sussex. Yeah. And it was sort of a bit of a kick up the bum, really, to sort of think that at any point another flag could come along and be adopted, and I need to sort of
right
to get what I see as the legitimate flag registered.
Yeah, you don't want to wait until it's
too
late.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So when you're coming up with the design and everything, and you were looking at, well, I guess I'll ask it this way: was your instinct to look back to heraldry first? Was that like an instinctual starting point? Because I know in a lot of UK flags that is the case. It's like, well, let's look at some historical arms of the county or of I forget all your ceremonial and historic and like whatever counties and stuff. Like that seems to be a generally accepted starting place. Was that just kind of something you took as gospel? Like, well, if I'm going to make this, I have to look at the arms and go off that, or did you have kind of other ideas floating around?
So the lots of entries, including my own, had as the background red and blue, because the arms of East Sussex Council is red and the arms of West Sussex Council is blue with a yellow chief above it. And so a lot of people were under the impression that red represented the east and blue represented the west. But when I started digging, and it didn't take much to realise that the actual arms for the whole county was blue. The cricket club had always used 6 gold marlets on blue. So yeah, and I just did more research. I found different examples of different organisations and, you know, like stained glass windows, etc., depicting the traditional emblem. I managed to date it back to 1611, which when it featured in an atlas by a cartographer called John Speed. He had a map of the Saxon Heptarchy, which is basically what England was, or Britain was rather, during Anglo-Saxon times, divided into 7 main kingdoms.
Right.
And one of those kingdoms is Sussex. So he used the 6 gold marks on
Saxons, I guess.
South Saxons, yeah. So he used the 6 gold marks on blue to represent that kingdom in 1611. I mean, it's obviously it wasn't the emblem of the kingdom at the time because heraldry hadn't developed at that point, but you know, it was used to represent that kingdom. So it became an obvious choice, really.
Yeah, yeah. And do you know why? What are the birds called again? I can't.
They're called martlets.
Martlets.
So they're a mythical heraldic bird, and they're said to have no feet. And that's because they're sort of an old wives' tale, which they're meant to represent sort of the martin or the swift, and it said that the swift could not land. So it's a sort of symbol of continuous hard work and that sort of effort as well. So
okay, yeah, gotcha. And so what's the reasoning behind 6? Was it just an aesthetic choice, or is that like the number of somethings within Sussex?
So it said they represent the 6 rapes, which a rape is a territorial division of Sussex, of which there's historically 6. Whether it does represent that or whether it's just a happy coincidence is, you know, anyone's guess, really. So yeah, Sussex is traditionally split up into these 6 divisions. Starting from west to east, it goes Chichester, Arundel, Bramber, Lewes, Pevensey, and Hastings, and each one's named after the major town or city.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we've gone through the history and the design, as it were. So take us through when you're getting this registered. Like, what's the process for that like with the Flag Institute?
So I started the campaign in 2010, so I was 16, and that was August 2010, and the flag was registered in May 2011. And back then there wasn't as many loops you have to go through as people do today. So it was in its very early stages, the flag registry. And basically, a couple of people, Jason included, and other members of an organisation called the Association of British Counties. I can't remember what the event was exactly, but they met with Graham Bartram, who's the chief axiologist of the Flag Institute, and basically demonstrated my research that the 6 gold martlets on blue have been traditionally used to represent Sussex, and therefore it should be the flag. Because from the Flag Institute, Flag Registry from its inception was the flags of Kent, Essex, Middlesex, etc., which are all pretty much derived from the map that I was referring to with the heptarchy, John Speed's map.
Yeah.
And Sussex seemed an obvious omission, really.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. And you said 2011. Yeah. I when was it that, just a slightly related question, when was it that British county flags like really started picking up steam as far as getting recognized? You said 2011 was early days of the flag registry.
Yeah, so the flag which really got the momentum going was Devon. I mean, there was the Cornish flag's been the flag of Cornwall since the 19th century, but that's arguably more of a national flag rather than a flag of England.
Yeah.
I think Northumberland County Council released their banner of arms in 1995, so that's another early-ish one. But the flag registry didn't come around until the mid-2000s, so it would have been after the flag of Devon, maybe sort of 2004-05 sort of time.
Okay. Yeah, it's fascinating to me that a lot of that is so recent. I guess given the like the aesthetics of these English, well, British, like UK county flags, really, since they draw on heraldry, it does give them kind of a look that if you didn't know better, you could assume like, okay, that's been the flag of wherever since 1682 or whatever, you know. So it is interesting to me as I was like learning more and more about these to be like, oh, these are very new flags. They just draw on old symbols, and etc. So one of the things you said when you were taking it to them and you were explaining like, okay, the symbolism of like the martlets and everything like that. I don't know. I guess I'm having trouble trying to word this, but is there any wiggle room with the Flag Institute or Flag Registry with newer symbols? Or did you feel like, all right, I have to explain to them that this is the historical coat of arms, it's based on that. That way that will make them more likely to register it? Like, I don't know how much calculus, I guess, in your mind is needing to prove some kind of like historical line from, you know, heraldry to now.
So I wasn't actually at the meeting, but yeah, so I don't know the exact conversation that happened, but I know it feels like quite a long time ago now, but I know the main point that was given was how Kent and Essex are on the flag registry for the same reasons. Why can't Sussex? And that was the main point, really.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like, you know, when I picture, well, and this is me as an American, when I picture English people in general, they're a little more, I don't know, upright, proper, hoity-toity a little bit.
That's us.
Yeah. It's, yeah. And then I guess I'm just picturing like, oh, well, this simply won't do if it doesn't have historical...
So I think the Flag Institute's policies have changed over time, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as more eyes are on it, they've had to become a bit tighter with the rules and everything. You know, whether that's good for flags in the long run, I'm not so sure. But yeah, I know James with the Fenland flags had to go through some real hoops.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas in the early days, you know, where the Sussex flag was concerned, you know, basically had to go through one hoop really, but
yeah. So what was the, I guess like briefly walk me through, and maybe you already said this, but so there was a BBC competition winner, but your design is the one that ends up being the flag. Like, what's the discrepancy there? Why did the competition winner not get that, other than as we've discussed, and this is just my opinion, I don't want to speak for you, but it is pretty ugly.
Yeah, I think because I think the flag is like a couple of things. Either traditional, and it's very obvious that that should be the flag for historical reasons, or B, it's had the backing of a public vote and or a higher organisation like a council or Lord Lieutenant, etc. And I don't think that that radio competition winner met any of those criteria. Really, that's the basis of it.
Okay, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I am glad that they ended up with the one they ended up with rather than the competition winner. Yeah, for sure. All right. I think, okay, real quick, before we cut to the next break, let's get into one of the other designs of yours, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I know, well, let's go into the one behind me here, since it is behind me here for the viewers. And this is the flag of, I believe, Northamptonshire.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
So, this was another BBC local radio station, Radio Northampton, and this was a public vote. So I think there was, can't think off the top of my head, maybe 4 or 5 finalists, and my flag won the competition.
Oh, so that one was a simple competition.
Yeah,
a little bit different than the Sussex one. Walk us through for the listeners. Give us a snapshot of what it looks like.
It's very similar to like the flag of Dorset, which is quite a standard pattern of English county flags. Which so it's a gold cross which is fimbriated in black upon a maroon field, and in the centre of the golden cross is a sort of maroon rose, heraldic rose.
Right. Is the rose... Okay, you'll have to forgive me for being an American here. But I know as far as the Wars of the Roses related things, there was the white rose of Yorkshire, the red rose of Lancaster, Lancashire.
Lancaster, yeah.
Is this related to the Lancashire, like the red rose, or is this just it's just kind of a happy accident type thing?
So I can't remember the exact history of the Northamptonshire rose, but I know it does definitely go back to when Henry united the House of York and House of Lancaster and combined the red and white rose, and because it's a symbol of England, I suppose. Lots of counties adopted it. I mean, even Sussex had adopted that symbol at one point.
Okay.
So there's lots of insignia of Northamptonshire which use the rose, like the police, the cricket team is probably the most famous one. Lots of different organisations within the county.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your walk us through a little bit of the design process as far as like choosing colors and symbols.
So I came up with the original design in about 2010, I believe it was. And back then I didn't have the black fimbriation, so that was an add-on just prior to the competition.
Okay.
So they're basically the maroon and gold are sort of the county colours. So the county cricket club wear those. The Northampton Town Football Club wear them. Lots of different sporting organisations. So it was a very, very obvious choice of colour. I added the black fimbriation just before the competition because Northampton's famous for the shoemaking industry.
Oh, okay.
So it represents leather. So the football club are nicknamed the Cobblers.
I was just going to say cobbler. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So I wanted to include that somehow, so that's why I did the black fimbriation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then the rose, as we discussed, is a symbol related to Northamptonshire and used by lots of groups.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the I feel like normally when I see black on a like English county flag or something, or various other flags, it's usually like the coal industry or something. So it's kind of like a refreshing change. That it's
there is a coal industry around that part of the world. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, very cool. That is Northamptonshire. For the listeners, this will all be in the show notes. Definitely go and check those out. There'll be a few other goodies sprinkled in there as well. Oh, and one more thing I meant to mention before we cut to the second ad break is Brady. There's a documentary out on the Sussex Flag that I will put somewhere on your screen right here, right now, and probably before too. I always say this, but definitely go check out that documentary, as it will kind of fill in a few of the gaps that we didn't quite have time for here today. So if you want to know more about that, go check that out. All right. And with all that talking, sorry, it's the coffee talking more than it's me, but we are going to go ahead and slip into our second ad break here. When we come back, we've got a few more of Brady's designs, and then we'll go over what he's up to next and close out. But stick with us. There's some more fascinating designs to come. We'll see you soon. All right, Vexheads, we've got a few more designs here from the prolific Brady Ells. And Brady, I'll let you talk about, should we start with Cambridgeshire or Hampshire?
Well, let's go Cambridgeshire, because I had much more of a input in that one, I'd say.
All right, let's do it.
So
give us the design so that we can all picture it in our heads as you're talking about it.
So it's a plain blue background, and on that background is in the centre, going along horizontally, is two wiggly lines, wavy lines, which are coloured a lighter shade of blue, sort of a duck egg bluey green colour.
Yes.
And, above the wavy lines, there is two gold crowns, and in the base of the flag is a single gold crown. So there's three crowns in a sort of 2-in-1 pattern.
Right. Okay. So we've all got it in our heads now. What's the symbolism of this one, and obviously the history, since those go hand in hand?
Yeah. So Cambridgeshire is in East Anglia, which again wasn't like Sussex, was an ancient kingdom in Anglo-Saxon time.
Oh, hence the crown, I bet. Right.
Yeah. So the symbol of East Anglia is three gold crowns on a blue background, so two at the top and one at the base.
Yes, I have their flag as well.
Yes, use that symbolism, and the wavy line represents the River Cam, which goes through the county, and the specific colour is called Cambridge blue. So I don't know if you've seen Cambridge University in the boat race where they row against Oxford.
I'm sure I have, yeah.
Oxford wear a darker shade of blue called Oxford blue, and Cambridge wear this sort of duck egg greeny blue called Cambridge blue. So it's very, very significant.
Okay, and that's the that's the color that the wave is.
Yes.
That they were. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as registration on that one, was it a pretty similar process to Sussex, or was it more of a vote?
That was a public vote. There was, I think, 4 designs in the final, one of which was a variation, I believe, of James Bowman's Fen flag, which has now become the flag of the Fens.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He entered that into the Cambridgeshire competition.
Sure.
Obviously, recycled a very good design, and the rest is history.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm taking copious notes as you're talking, but one of the notes I just took, like, what is like if you had a preferred method for recognition / adoption of these flags, what would that be? Whether it's, because we've talked about public vote, we've talked about, there was the BBC vote that didn't end up being the flag. There's various like methods to get there. What's your, I guess, preferred one?
For me, the preferred would definitely be traditional. But where there isn't a traditional design, for example, Dorset's a really good example. There's no real symbol of Dorset apart from the council arms, which was 3 lions and a fleur-de-lis, which is more of a English and French symbol,
Right.
which isn't really individual to Dorset. So, you know, where a traditional symbol doesn't exist, I think, you know, start going down the novel route.
Yeah.
But even some of the newer flags in England, like Leicestershire, there's literally 3 very ancient symbols rolled into one on that one. So
yeah.
So
I've got that one as well. It's fun.
Yeah.
I have so many more UK county flags than I do US state flags, like for obvious reasons, just design wise. But yeah, I guess I mean too, like what as far as getting them adopted, do you prefer like a public vote, a just going up to the Flag Institute and being like, here's my thing if you want to adopt it? Like, I guess what's the easiest route there, or your favorite route there?
Probably the latter, I'd say. Just get the flag flying.
It's like kind of like
grassroots kind of adoption.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And then just be like, just go to the Flag Institute and be like, I mean, look, it's already flying everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
People are connecting with it.
Yeah.
You know, etc. Okay, cool. So that one, we've got Cambridgeshire, and then you did another one with Jason Saber, right?
Yeah. So Jason came up with this design probably around 2008.
And which which flag?
Hampshire, sorry.
Hampshire. Okay.
Yes, which is a bi-colour horizontally of red at the top and gold at the bottom, and at the top is a gold Saxon crown, and at the bottom is a red and white Tudor rose.
Yes, I know this one too. Okay.
So the Hampshire County Council had a banner of arms, pretty much the same since 1992, but their banner of arms had a royal crown.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. And not a Tudor rose.
No, not. I think it's just a red rose. Yeah. So, being a royal crown, it's a restricted symbol. So you know, Joe Public can't go around using the royal crown.
Right.
That's just for the queen. Well, the queen at the time, but the king to make use of. So Jason came up with a very suitable substitute, which is the Saxon crown. Hampshire was the first shire of Wessex, but Wessex basically became England later on. The capital of England was Winchester, and was also the capital of Wessex, which is in Hampshire. So the Saxon crown was a very suitable substitute.
Yeah, that makes total sense. If you've got like good bones already for the design, you're like, all right, but we can't quite do that. Can't do this. What's a way around it that is actually meaningful as well, not just a kind of cheap substitute type thing? And and draws in a little bit more the history of it as well. I was going to ask, so on Wikipedia, it says it was designed by Jason Saber and Brady Ells. You got any problem with being second in that? I mean, alphabetically, you should be first.
It's very much definitely Jason's design. I just came along and tweaked the rose a bit. So it's not, unlike the county council, that Hampshire organisations have been represented by white roses and red and white roses, etc.
Right.
So that we've made a sort of combination of the two. And also, if you look at the Hampshire flag, the sepal is pointing. There's 5 sepals on the rose, and the sepal is pointing downwards, representing the county's old name, which is Southamptonshire. And if you look at the Northamptonshire flag, which I designed, the sepal is pointing upwards, representing Northamptonshire.
Okay, that's clever. So, I like that.
Yeah, subtle Easter egg there.
Yeah, I definitely like that. It's also, uh, it says on the wiki site anyway, not to be confused with the flag of New Hampshire, which is just,
No.
if you could redesign that one, that'd be great.
uh,
Great. Actually, yeah,
I like,
send over
yeah.
yourself, Jason, Phil Tibbets, like y'all need to come over and help us. All right. Well, okay. So that was the other two that we had slated. I think we've got time to go over one of your. You said you designed a couple for towns and villages within Sussex, which I see now why they call you Mr. Sussex.
Yeah. So the first town flag I designed was for the town I was brought up in, called Heathfield.
Ah, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, making your own town's flag. Sure.
Yeah. So I'm quite proud to have seen the flag of my county adopted and designed my flag of my own hometown. So this is it has a green and black background, and along the diagonally going from the bottom left to the top right is a bar, white bar. And in the top left-hand corner is a white cuckoo. And in the bottom right-hand corner is a tower with a key on it, a green key.
Yes. Yeah, it looks very similar to the key of Gibraltar, like in that flag.
So that is the key of Gibraltar.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So
I'll give myself points.
So that was a later suggestion by Philip Tibbets.
Heard of him.
That tower on there is a famous landmark in Heathfield and the surrounding area called Gibraltar Tower. And the man who lived at Heathfield Park, Augustus Eliot, he was governor to Gibraltar, and he defended the Gibraltar against the Spanish, stop them taking over, basically. So he's very well celebrated in the and they built this tower called Gibraltar Tower to sort of celebrate that victory. And him.
So I'm guessing he probably has that on his personal arms, or did as well.
Yeah, he does have. He has the British version of the. Because it's quite interesting. The flag of Gibraltar is actually the Spanish version of the Arms of Gibraltar.
Oh.
There's actually a different version, a British version of the Arms of Gibraltar, which is blue.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it has the Pillars of Hercules.
Sure. Yeah.
And is it Plus Ultra, which is the motto of Spain?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got that on it, and the tower and the key as well. But yeah, I've always found it quite interesting that that Gibraltar uses the Spanish version of the arms.
Yeah, you would think they would specifically not do that for any kind of like territorial claims reasons or what.
Yeah, it just goes to show how fluid symbols are, really, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, and then the cuckoo represents there's a tradition in Heathfield where each 14th of April since 1315, there's a lady called Dame Heathfield, who's this sort of mythical person, and she to sort of proclaim the beginning of spring in Sussex, she releases a cuckoo from a basket, and that's quite an old tradition. She's called Dame Heathfield, and Heathfield is the sort of Sussex dialect way of pronouncing Heathfield.
Okay. Yeah, that would be probably like, I don't know if I'd be able to understand that.
No, it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
I've got a few older friends and relations who are very strong Sussex accents, so quite difficult to understand.
Yeah,
and then the white bar along the centre represents the sort of modern town of Heathfield, which was built sort of after the railway came. Crosses two parishes, Heathfield and Waldron, and also Heathfield sits across. We were talking about the rapes of Sussex earlier. It sits on top of the boundary between Hastings and Pevensey as well. So it's a sort of represents that sort of division of the town.
Gotcha.
Historically.
Yeah, very cool. I guess there's not a lot of flags that I bother looking up what the specific bird is. Like, if it's American ones, it's usually an eagle. It's pretty self-evident.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. The Sussex one, I was like, yeah, it's 6 birds, but I didn't know they were martlets. Would not have known this was a cuckoo, but I do love. I don't know. I mean, there's something intrinsically a little bit fun about a cuckoo, maybe just in the name itself, but yeah, that's fun. All right, Brady, I think we're pretty much at time now. There's a few other things I wanted to get to with you, so we'll save that for the Patreon. And folks who are on the Patreon or want to sign up for the Patreon can catch us over there talking a little bit more design and probably a few less coughs. I'm just kidding. But Brady, now that you're taking a sip, it's the perfect time to ask you, where can we find you, follow you? Is there anything that you have in the works that we should kind of keep an eye out for?
So I run with family and friends a page on Facebook called Sussex Flag.
Okay.
Been going a couple of years after the flag was adopted, and we've actually got up to 14,000 followers.
Ooh, I'd go for that. Yeah.
Quite good for a page for about flags, really.
For a page about a flag, I guess.
Flag, yeah, definitely. And concentrating at the moment on, I said about Heathfield being the Sussex dialect word for Heathfield. Each day we're featuring a town or village in the county and explaining its name, where it came from, and the Sussex pronunciation of that name, which always caused quite a lot of either arguments or nostalgia, but it's very interesting to see how people respond.
Absolutely, you're a man after my own heart, because I studied linguistics at university as well, so that is straight down my alley. Where can I find that? Is that also on the Sussex Flag?
That's on the Sussex Flag Facebook page. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out a bit more than I already have, because that kind of stuff absolutely fascinates me. Okay, anything else to plug? Any other social media, anything like that?
Not really. We always try and push Sussex Day, which is the 16th of June, which is St Richard's Day, patron saint of Sussex. So that's when if people aren't flying the flag already, that's when all the flags come out for Sussex Day. So
all right. So I'll hold this episode until June. No, I'm just kidding. Not going to do that. But y'all remember Sussex Day. Would you say 16th?
16th of June.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'll go ahead and give my plugs. Pretty much anything you can find about the show, or you would ever want to find about the show, you can find on our link tree, which is just linktree.com/flaggedforcontent, all spelled out, FOR, all that good stuff. I've recently added a few links to that, kind of made it a little prettier and everything. So yeah, go check out the link tree. It's got merch. It's got a little bit of everything. On all the social media, we are at Flagged for Content, for the number, the digit. Unfortunately, that's the best I could do. And I think that is pretty much it. Brady, I seem to have lost my notes for how to close the show. Is there any kind of a little quippy one-liner or any other thing you could walk us out of here with?
The motto of Sussex is "We won't be druv," which means we won't be pushed around. So don't be druv.
Don't be druv. All right. Yeah. I can dig it. I don't know if it works in my accent, but I like it. And thank you, Brady. Thank you, listeners, viewers. With that, we have been Flagged for Content. We'll catch you on the fly side. Flagged for Content is proud to be sponsored by Flags for Good. Go to flagsforgood.com for more information. Flagged for Content is hosted, produced, edited, occasionally written, and always nitpicked over by me, Andy Richardson. Catch you all on the fly side, Vexheads.